Hey everyone, welcome back to this week's edition of the Maconi Setup Shop A-Fix Tutorials. This week we're looking at one of my favorite short tracks on the game, the Richmond Raceway. Hopefully I can give you guys a lot of useful tips on how to get around here, so strap in and let's get to it. Real quick, shifting. I'm in fourth gear all the way around the racetrack, except for right about here. When you get around the start-finish line, you're going to grab fifth gear, and when you hit your braking point to go into turn one, you're going to downshift back into fourth gear. Okay. The techniques of the racetrack, very tricky, little hard to explain, so bear with me. I don't do the greatest job of demonstrating it in turn one as much. That first lap was good, but throughout the course of the run, I kind of missed my mark. As you fall into turn one here, you don't want a big, wide, sweeping arc. Okay. You also don't want to do what I just did, which is get into the gas too soon with a lot of wheel input. That'll get you in trouble pretty quickly. We'll talk more about that later on in the video. You want to shallow off your entry here. You're trying to aim for this yellow line there. That was a better example, but you want to aim for the yellow line and meet it early on corner entry because of the amount of grip there. Same thing with turn three. The technique is the same, even though the front straightaway is a big tri-oval, I guess you can call it, and the back straightaway is straight. You still want to imply the same method on corner entry. You don't want a big wide arc. One of the reasons is to save your tires. You're not going to put as much wheel into it. The other thing is the distance. If you're going into turn one with a big wide arc and somebody's straightening up the corner, it might look like they're dive bombing you. It might look like they're driving it in super deep. I promise you they're not. They're not driving it any harder, I promise. That's just one of the little characteristics about this racetrack. One of the little things that help make you fast around here as well. The other thing that I think is really cool, at least with this, and this is in solo car by the way, so I can only imagine what it'll be like in traffic, is the throttle control. This car with this short track package, to me, it feels really light. It feels really agile. So you have to be smooth with your inputs. You don't want to be jerking the wheel. You don't want to be stabbing the brake and pumping it a bunch of times. And the most important thing is you want to be smooth with your throttle. Okay? You see the lap times I'm running. You see my throttle inputs. Wait until you're comfortable to get full throttle. Okay, if that means you gotta wait until you're coming off of the corner completely, so be it. At least through 3 and 4 for me, because of how sweeping the exit is, I find I have to wait longer to get on the gas, because if you don't, the rear tires will break free and you get loose really fast. With turn 2, because it's so pinched off, if you have a lot of wheel input, okay, so say you kind of overdrove entry to center, you got a lot of wheel in there because you're trying to keep it down, and then you get in the gas, you're also going to get really loose very fast. Okay. We'll switch over into the in-car here for a few laps afterwards, but that's pretty much the driving technique stuff that I wanted to touch on. When we go to the in-car for the first couple laps, I'll try to show you the points that I try to use from inside the car, because this track is really it's fast. Things happen fast. You're not as fast as Bristol, but real quick, this second line here, where I'm circling with my mouse, this is what I'm trying to use. I don't use reference points very often, okay? But for a track like Richmond, stuff like this is where I'm trying to brake going into turn one, around there. That's my, like, limit. If I drive it any deeper than that, I know it's going to be a bad time, okay? And then lastly, going into turn 3, you're on the chip before this Xfinity sign, which is a really good helping tool, but if you get long run and your pace slows down and you're not hitting the chip here, this Xfinity sign is a really good spot visually to see on the wall to where you want to get on the brakes and turn into the corner, okay? Again, not a big wide arc. You'll see how we kind of move down a little bit too. Like I don't want to be up against that wall on entry. This is what I'm talking about when I say shallow out your entry. Get it down to that yellow line. Be smooth with your inputs. Take care of your stuff, and you're gonna have some speed. You don't have to feel like you're hustling this car to go fast around here. Okay, guys, quick couple things to go over again. Entrance to your corner here at Richmond in particular is incredibly important. It's more important in my opinion than the exit. Okay, if you got to give up a little bit of time on entry just to make sure that you're down there, so be it. Because if you miss the corner and you slide up, you're going to lose a lot more time than under driving the corner. Okay, it's really important to get down to the yellow line. The other thing is it's really important to be smooth. I talked about you don't have to hustle this car to be fast around here. The smoother you are, the faster you'll be, especially on the long run, okay? Don't rush the inputs. If somebody's driving really fast and you're trying to chase them, don't. Run your own race. Be careful when it comes to passing. I don't really think there's a whole lot of grip up on the top lane. I could be wrong. In the race, when the track takes rubber, the top lane could be an option, but I really don't think it is. So when you're passing somebody, if you get positioned, just be smooth. If you try to get in the gas too hard with a lot of wheel crank, you're going to get loose and it's not going to be easy to save, okay? If you find that this video was helpful, as always, please consider leaving a like. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to leave a comment down below and I will answer them throughout the week. Lastly, if you're not already subscribed, of course, hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell so you can see these videos every Monday when they're posted to the Maconi Setup Shop YouTube channel. All right, guys, best of luck this week, and we'll see you out on the track.